Okay. All right. Then let's talk Russia. So over a week ago, Robert Mueller indicted 13 Russian nationals, and there has been a lot of finger pointing and speculation since. However, as Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein has pointed out, there is no allegation in this indictment that an American was a knowing participant in this illegal activity. And he goes on to state, there is no allegation that in this indictment, there is no allegation in this indictment that the charged conduct altered the outcome of the 2016 election. So then what is the significance of these indictments? Well, for one, it does show that Russia itself was attempting to at least sow discord in America during our election process. But as more information becomes available, it raises more questions because it doesn't appear that they actually targeted one side specifically. In fact, the list of tweets of the alleged Russian bots accounts provided by NBC News on February 14th show a mixed bag of sharing Trump tweets, as well as Hillary, Bernie, Jill Stein, and even pundits like Joanna Reid, who supported Clinton throughout the 2016 cycle. And to be fair, Trump has retweeted at a much greater rate, but it still shows that the key function of these bot accounts was to create chaos rather than to favor a particular candidate. So an article contributed by the Progressive Army called It's Mueller Time, the writer asked the question, wait a minute, where are the hacked election results? What is the goal conclusion? And goes on to state, instead it appears the smoking gun is entry-level espionage, which, as suggested by The Intercept, would fall well within the acceptable norms of great power behavior. The article further explains it's not that attempting to influence the election of a sovereign nation by a foreign power is immaterial. It is just that this type of espionage is so globally common that it is, as a revelation, irrelevant. So in one of Trump's defensive retaliatory style tweets here, question, if all of the Russian meddling took place during the Obama administration right up to January 20th, why aren't they subject of the investigation? Why didn't Obama do something about the meddling? Why aren't Dem crimes under investigation? Ask Jeff Sessions. Ending with the exclamation point. All of his tweets, do they not end in an exclamation point?
Yeah.
I feel like every single one. I mean, doesn't it just downgrade the importance of any of his tweets or the outrage of any of his tweets, really? Because usually you reserve the exclamation point for explanation, like exclamatory, like, this is very serious. But I mean, I'm just reading this as this is really just a period. That Russia got what it wanted. A he said, she said type of scenario or finger pointing contest against Democrats and Republicans. So I guess why are we falling for it? I mean, that's a good question. Maybe because it's easy to fall for this. I think it's very easy to kind of, I don't know, because let me put some thought into this. Maybe we're falling for this because it's easy. There's a boogeyman, right? And it's kind of weird. I think I was talking to you earlier about how this kind of Russia propaganda was going on far sooner than 2016, especially with the Vladimir Putin memes of his like heroic shirtless caveman guy. He's tough guy out in the wilderness, out in the cold Russia on horseback, shirtless, which was the coolest thing I think a lot of my Republican friends had ever seen. And I'm in a very red state, and so I got to experience that a lot. And this was well before 2016, by the way. But why are we falling for it? I don't know. Do you have any ideas, Janet?
My whole thing goes back to the fact that Trump is just, he's not this presidential person. And there's so many people that just want to take him down for anything. And they'll focus on any little thing and make it this this huge thing. I know I keep saying thing, but I just feel like they're focusing kind of on the wrong stuff there. I think there's a lot, there are stuff there. Russia's an oligarch too. I mean, we don't want to be Russia. We don't want to be Russia. We want we want what we want. We want our country to be better. And it's so much easier for them to sit there and you know have a boogeyman to blame, like, oh, it's Russia that did this, it's Russia that did that, and not realistically look at, yeah, I mean, Russia did do some stuff to our to our election. I mean, they obviously they were online and sowing discord or whatever they were doing. And but I feel like too many people are focused on that those little things where there's a lot of bigger things they could focus on. And about Trump, that's completely wrong, so I mean, I don't know if I'm making any sense, but that's how I view it anyways.
No, you're making perfect sense. I just think that it's fascinating that if this did, I guess if those memes, those very few memes, and I guess this few $100,000 internet campaign did influence people, how dumb are people in the United States? I mean, doesn't that just like make you have very little respect for your fellow American? I mean, that's why I want to believe that like this couldn't possibly have influenced it to the degree that I think some Democrats think that it did. Because let's just be real, Clinton was a terrible candidate. She just was. There was a lot of people screaming from the rafters, do not select her. Don't do it. Like, she will lose. She can lose. It's possible. And lo and behold, the DNC powers that be went ahead and did it. They didn't want to listen to it. Like, I don't know, the voters, or anybody that, could have, that actually had a thumb on the whole deal and knew how horribly bad a candidate Clinton was. And I know, but she was a terrible candidate. And so I want to believe that, no, I think she was probably going to lose anyways, or at least very closely. It was always close. It was never, she was not ever blowing him out of the water.
No,
Yet they went with her anyway.
Yeah, no, I fully, I mean, I saw that. I mean, she didn't win in 2008. I mean, it wasn't like, I mean, granted, she got a boost when she was Secretary of State, but to some of us, we looked at what she did in Secretary of State and it made her worse to us. I mean, you take in Benghazi, you take in Libya. I mean, those didn't help her to the left, to the progressive left. That didn't help her. So you take away 2008 and how bad she was then, and now she was just that much worse.
Right. And she didn't even really work for it. I mean, should we even award somebody a presidency for them not campaigning? I mean, she didn't go to places that were swing states.
No.
She didn't campaign there. I mean, that's nuts. I mean, could you imagine any presidential candidate doing that prior to her and expecting to win an election? I mean, that's ridiculous.
I mean,
so that's why I'm like, yeah, we shouldn't downplay that they were trying to do something, and they obviously have financial ties with Trump. And I guess we can go through them. So if we go through the financial ties that we know about, we have in 2013 that there was a beauty pageant, because the Miss Universe pageant was hosted in Moscow, and the Russian oligarch who has received major construction contracts from the Kremlin happened to have been there or was part of this whole pageant. What's his name? Aras Agalarov. We have Sergei Millian. Trump associate, and is also head of the Russian American Chamber of Commerce, one alleged information source for the dossier, which is a private document, alleged ties between Trump and the Russian government. We have the Trump Organization, which I guess we all should know what that is. It's an international conglomerate that comprises of Trump's business ventures, investments, has a lot of mysterious private server connections to Alpha Bank, which is the largest private commercial bank in Russia, which I will say that without burping this time. We have Fedor Emelianenko. Fedor Emelianenko. He's a mixed martial arts former Trump business partner and friend of, lo and behold, Vladimir Putin. We have Felix Sater, which is a business associate of Trump. And he has alleged ties to Vladimir Putin as well. And we should note that these ties go back for decades. And as Siva Gunitsky has pointed out, he's of the University of Toronto, he said in a Vox News report to set aside Putin and follow the money. John Jr. has admitted himself that their biggest investors for all the golf courses they have and all their hotels is in fact Russia. And that has been the case for decades. So, I mean, it's really not surprising to see at least the financial influence that Putin, Russia can have on the president. And you don't want that to be the case for any president at all, sitting or ex-president. You don't want them to be tampered or influenced by business ties to different countries, which unfortunately has been kind of our thing for years now. It doesn't go beyond President Trump. It doesn't stop at President Trump. I mean, we've been doing arms deals with these authoritative states for I guess since I've been able to vote in presidents, which hasn't actually been that long, but forever. I'm sure this is nothing new, these arms deals. And I guess everybody's finally got up in arms about the Saudi Arabia arms deal that Trump made with the Saudi, I guess, prince or whomever. But we made an arms deal with them under the Obama administration too. So, I mean, where was everybody up in arms then? And it just seems so crazy to me that we shouldn't have this double standard. If you have morals, you should stick to them. And if you don't think that authoritative states should be making any deals with any supposed non-authoritative state, would have been nice to hear from you 8 years ago or 6 years ago or whenever. But that's just my opinion on it. Now, does that make it right? No, by any means, no. This is never right. It's never right. But I'm sick of this whole partisan type of thing when we should always be on the side of good if we are in fact a good nation.